The girl was using the bathroom while her parents stood right in front of her. After finishing, the daughter tied up a full bag tightly and handed it to her father, who threw it outside the pit. Because the three had been trapped in the deep pit for over 2 months, they had to handle all bodily functions right there, and the culprit behind all this was their son, but this arrangement couldn't last forever, and eventually, the father would make a mistake. Gradually, the pit became filled with a terrible stench. Meanwhile, outside, their precious son was having the time of his life with his classmate. Only in the middle of the night would he control a drone to hover above the pit, to check if his parents and sister were still alive. Seeing this, the father burst into curses, saying he had raised an ungrateful child. But Peter couldn't hear these insults at all. The next day, as he was saying goodbye to his classmate, Peter withdrew another 50,000 from the ATM and gave it to him. In his mind, since his classmate had kept him company for so long, he should pay him for his time. That's what adults would do. However, shortly after his classmate left, his mother's friend visited again. She was very confused about why she couldn't get in touch with Peter's mom. Feeling guilty, Peter couldn't give a proper answer. Seeing the boy stumbling over his words, the woman sensed something was wrong. She turned and left. Then called the police. Little did she know, Peter had already planned for this. First, he locked all the doors, then hid upstairs, creating the impression that no one was home. After checking around, the police didn't find anything unusual. Meanwhile, in the pit in the middle of the forest, 3 unfortunate souls were barely hanging on. Since Peter hadn't brought food for several days, the 3 were too hungry to have any strength left. In their weakened state, they had prepared for the worst. Time flew by, and Peter gradually grew tired of this lifestyle. The 3 finally escaped from this nightmare pit. They discovered a body floating in the swim-mined pool. The parents thought Peter was overwhelmed with guilt and decided to end his life, so they immediately pulled him out, not knowing this is Peter's deliberate act, designed to lessen his parents' anger. Finally, his father brought an excavator and completely filled the dangerous pit that has caused so much trouble.